guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Central Victoria in Australia. I am video hopping with the Global Monthly Video Hop group, and we're Stampin' Up demonstrators from around the world. We get together every single month with a different theme. This month's theme is scraps, which is fantastic because as crafters I think we have a ton of scraps in our possession and it's nice to be able to use those in a theme. Let me show you the card that we are creating today. This is it. I love it. It's so bright and cheerful and very summery. It's using the new stamp set in the mini catalogue called Sweet Ice Cream, and it's really gorgeous. I love this card. We're going to get over to the craft table and we'll get started. All the supplies I'm using for today's card can be seen on the screen. If you head over to my blog, all the measurements and the supplies are listed over there as well. I'm using the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set from the mini catalogue. Now this is a bundle that you can get with a punch. Because I'm using the popsicles for this imaging, I'm actually not going to need the punch for this card, but it does come in a bundle and you can save yourself 10%. So I'm just showing you my scraps here. I have a filing cabinet full of scraps, and I went to my scrap cupboard and found some nice bright fun colours for this fun card. I've gone with Granny Apple Green, Melon Mumbo, Coastal Cabana and Daffodil Delight for this card. So I love these bright summery colours. Now I'm only going to stamp 2 here. I do come back and stamp 3. I don't know why I didn't do 3 in the first place, but anyway, it's good. So I'm going to come in and I'll need a popsicle for each of these colours. Now to me these popsicles look like what we sell here in Australia called splice ice creams, where it's ice cream on the bottom and then a layer of like a fruit. It's a lemon lime layering. So that's the Granny Apple Green one, and you've got a Coastal Cabana and Melon Mumbo one as well. So yum. Now I am going to fussy cut these ones out, so it's really good, and I've got also the stamp, the sentiment, sorry, that I've stamped in Coastal Cabana as well. So I'm using one of the dies which is called the Tasteful Label dies for this label here, as well as to cut that sentiment out. And in the stamp set there are 2 sprinkle images. So one is this little dots that are everywhere, and also those little tiny sprinkles that you can put on cupcakes. And I've gone with this one, but you could choose yourself if you want to do the sprinkles, just as a little added background. So here I am. I'm just going to fussy cut these 3 ice creams really quickly, and then I'll go back through and die cut that sentiment. So this card comes together really quite easily, and it's a great way to use your scraps. But make sure you go and check everyone else's blog posts out or videos out, because they'll have some really wonderful ideas as well. Using that second die from the Tasteful Labels die set for our sentiment. So I'm going to fussy cut the sticks for the paddle pops, or the icy poles, the popsicles. There's so many different names for them, but I'm also going to go back through and stamp that third one because I did forget when I was creating it. So these just glue onto the back of the icy poles. Now I don't know what to call them. Popsicles, icy poles, paddle pops, I'm not sure. But we're just going to use some liquid adhesive to attach them to the back of them, and then we're going to use liquid adhesive to pop them onto that label. So 2 will be glued down with the liquid adhesive and 1 will be popped up with dimensionals. Okay, so there's not a lot to talk about while I'm doing this. So while I'm putting the focal image together, I thought it'd be a great time to ask what your favourite ice cream or icy pole is. For me, I'm not huge on ice cream or icy poles. I do like the occasional soft serve from McDonald's, especially if it's nice and creamy. But so we do have that every now and again. Or I don't mind the honeycomb magnums. So I'm not sure even whether other countries get magnums. But what they are is inside's a honeycomb ice cream, and then it's got a chocolate coating with some nuts on it, so it's quite nice. But yeah, it's not something that I have a lot of. So yeah, I'm popping some dimensionals on the back of this sentiment, and I will say I've made a mistake here. What you want to do is maybe not put a dimensional on the middle and just pop a dimensional on either side, or you could double up the dimensionals on either side and just put one dimensional in the middle piece. I don't know what I was thinking by putting two dimensionals in the middle and one on either side. But anyway, so I'm using some tear and tape on the back here because we're going to add some of that ribbon. Now this is a 3-pack of ribbon. It is the Playing with Patterns ribbon. There are 3 in there. So we have this pool party colour, which is perfect with the Coastal Cabana. There's also a purple posy, which I have used last month with my Simple Succulent card. If you haven't seen that, go and check that one out. And there's also a Night of Navy thin ribbon as part of this 3-pack as well. So I've just attached that to the back using that tear and tape. So now I'm going to my scrap files and just picking out pieces of cardstock. And I'm going to cut these at 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to have lots and lots of strips. Now I will say I am left with a ton of strips left over, and I will endeavour to try and create another card with those scraps, even if it's a little bit smaller. It might not be able to place down on a card base, but I can use matting and have a different size. So yeah, we'll see whether I get back to you on that one. But these are really great to use up the scraps that you have, and you can use different sizes. They don't have to be uniform. You could use thick ones and thin ones, whatever you have. And I really love this technique because I think everyone has heaps of scraps in your piles, and some people throw them out because they get sick of looking at them. But if you have a file system like mine where you have plastic envelopes that you put them in, and I have one for every colour. You certainly don't have to have one for every colour. You could have one for every colour family, one for all greens, all pinks, all blues, etc. as well. And it's just a great way to, if you're using punches, if you just want a small piece of punched cardstock, you're not using a whole piece of A4 or like a whole piece of cardstock. So it's a great way of conserving some of your cardstock as well, and it does really save you a ton of money as well. So I've just cut around those edges, and there's a couple of pieces that had a lot of glue left over on the back, so I just wanted to get those up and move them aside. So I'm using my paper snips here to cut all the way around the edges. This does make your snips super sticky and gluey, so I highly recommend you cleaning them off because it will affect your scissors later on if you don't. So we're going to use some dimensionals on the back of our image, and I've used a tonne again. If you follow me, you know that I use a tonne on things that I pop up. If they're going through the post, you really need to make sure that they're going to get to the other side of the post to the recipient in full tack. So we also have some of these beautiful little sequins that are in the annual catalogue, and I'm just going to pop some of those down. So I think I popped down 5. And that's the card. So super quick and easy once you've got all your scraps cut, but it's a great way to use those scraps. Don't forget to leave a comment on your favourite ice cream. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's card, and I hope you've enjoyed the ideas of using your scraps. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Now, all the other demonstrators' links for the video hop are down below in the description. Please go and check them out. You'll have tons of inspiration on how you could use your scraps. Now, if you're after any supplies of either what I've used today or any other supplies through Stampin' Up, you can purchase them in my online store. I would so appreciate your business, and as a customer of mine, I will definitely spoil you as well. Alright, I'll be back with another video very soon, so hopefully you can join me for that one. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Are you hearing my words I'm saying to you? 'Cause I'm looking in your